and styrene Haven models. I have a bag full of tires. I flip through a book, and I do a review of Takom's 1/72nd scale Silbervogel bomber kit. On a recent trip to Texas, I stopped at Dibble's Hobbies in San Antonio, Texas, and found this really unusual and cool Takom kit and decided to do a review on it. I always love when kit manufacturers come up with new and unusual ideas for kits, and this one does not disappoint. The Silbervogel Suborbital bomber never actually existed and was probably just a concept on an engineer's drafting table. After the war, the Allies had captured a bunch of unusual concepts that the Germans had come up with during the war that actually never made it to production. I always love it when manufacturers take these unusual subjects and turn them into kits. This kit is 1/72nd scale, but even at this scale, Takom has done a great job at including a ton of detail. Takom has released two versions of this kit, one that only includes the bomber, and then this one which is a complete suite including bombs, trailers, and the Hanomag tow tug. Starting with the assembly manual, the instructions are well laid out and easy to follow and understand. There's plenty of callouts for paints, and it looks like Ammo has done a partnership with Takom for ammo paint color callouts. The instructions begin with the assembly of the Hanomag tug, trailer, and bombs. There are a total of 3 atomic bombs included in this kit, 2 of the smaller bombs and 1 large bomb. Even at 1/72nd scale, I really like how Takom has broken down some of the smaller parts into sub-assemblies, offering plenty of detail for even the smallest parts. The 3 atomic bombs that are included remind me of Fat Man and Little Boy. Both trailers can be connected to the Hanomag or to each other, creating one long train. Next is the assembly of the bomber itself, which includes a full bomb bay. You have the option to either load the bomb bay with the single larger bomb or the 2 smaller bombs. One interesting feature of the kit are the 2 noses that come with the kit, a jet fighter cockpit style and more of a bomber style. Assembly of the bomber is pretty straightforward with a low parts count, but making for an impressively large bomber even at 1/72nd scale. Takom has done a great job of offering several camo options for both the Hanomag and trailers as well as the bomber itself. You can follow these guides using the ammo color callouts or even come up with your very own camo scheme. The full color paint guides are a nice touch to help you identify the colors and be able to replicate some of the camo patterns that are shown in the instruction manual. If you decide to weather the bomber, you could easily look at reference pictures from space shuttles and even SpaceX rockets that have soot coming back during their re-entry process. Another fun option would to paint this as a captured bomber, painting it in US markings. The included decal sheet offers several options for different squadrons. The decals themselves look to be of high quality and are printed with crisp edges. There's very little carrier film, and the decals look to be thin and should snuggle down nicely using a decal solvent. Being such a large decal sheet with all the options available, you'll definitely have a lot of spare decals left over for future builds. And to protect the decals, Takom does include a sheet of parchment paper to put over the decals if you're not planning on building the kit anytime soon. Breaking into the sprues, we start with the bomber itself. This is the lower half of the bomber, and I find it interesting that they actually included tile detail that is reminiscent of the space shuttle. All the details in the entire kit are crisp and sharp and recessed. There's absolutely no flash in the entire kit, and where the parts connect to the sprues are very small. You can see from some of the close-ups that Takom has done a great job of adding a lot of sharp and crisp detail. Next up is the upper half of the bomber that comes in 3 separate parts. These 2 parts make up the main fuselage, and then a third part on a separate sprue will be where the cockpit is attached. Again, Takom has offered a lot of great detail on the fuselage, even at 1/72nd scale. The parts are nice and clean, even on the inside, and they join together to create a clean seam. Sprue C includes the large wings and the 2 options for the cockpit. Again, Takom has replicated the thermal tiles on the wings. You could even grind away some of the tiles to show damage from re-entry. The bomber offers two options for cockpit, one bomber style with several smaller windows, and one jet fighter style with a bubble top canopy. The one potential issue that may crop up during assembly is the mounting stubs for the wings seem awfully small. It's hard to say if those stubs will be adequate to hold the wings, and only during assembly will we be able to find out. Sprue G is the last of the sprues to make up the bomber and includes the bomb bay and all the interior parts. I really like how Takom has made the sprue letters easy to identify. All the walls that make up the bomb bay are separate pieces. This lends to the opportunity to do some scratch building to include details like hoses and wires that you would see in a typical World War II bomb bay. If you were going to build the bomb bay empty, you could even scratch build bomb mounts. The cockpit detail seems a little light, but that's pretty typical of 72nd scale kits since it's very difficult to see inside the cockpit once assembled. With how clean the molding process is, it looks like parts cleanup will be at a minimum. All the trees come separately packed in their own plastic bag, and one of the nice little touches I like that Takom has done is they put each sprue in a resealable plastic bag. Sprue D makes up the three bombs, both smaller bombs and the larger, longer bomb. Having three bombs available and two trailers, you could easily mount all three bombs on the trailers, or you could load the bomb bay with one or two of the bombs and have another bomb sitting on a trailer with one of the trailers empty. Here again, Takom has taken the opportunity to break up some of the smaller parts into separate pieces to show a lot more detail. The bombs have separate fins so that they can mold the fins thin and keep them to scale. Moving on to the Hanomag tug, the body is one piece and still offers a lot of detail at 1/72nd scale, with molded in door panels and louvers on the engine cowling. Sprue C makes up the rest of the assembly for the Hanomag, including the frame, interior, suspension, wheels, and all the other small bits and pieces that will complete the Hanomag model. Takom has included a lot of both interior and exterior detail for the Hanomag, which should make for a very convincing tug. I'm really impressed with all the attention to detail that Takom has done with this kit for a 1/72nd scale model. The Hanomag tug is an impressive model all on its own. Sprue E consists of the two trailers, and again Takom has broken up these parts into smaller sub-assemblies to offer plenty of detail. The only bit of detail that I found missing, which could easily be added with some scratch building, is some type of clamp or mounting hardware for the bombs on the trailers. Both clear sprues for the Hanomag and the bomber come in their own plastic bags and are crystal clear, sharp, with absolutely no flash or mars in the plastic. The attachment points are small, so a good quality razor saw should separate these clear pieces without any issues. The only one negative I could say about this kit is that it comes with rubber tires for the Hanomag and the trailers. I'm not a big fan of rubber tires as they're not easy to paint, you can't shape them or create flat spots to depict weight, and they're just not easy to glue onto the plastic parts. Takom has done a great job taking an unusual subject matter and making it into a fabulous kit. Because you get a bomber, Hanomag, trailer, and the bombs, this kit is screaming to be put into a diorama base. And since it is a fictitious subject matter, you can really let your imagination run wild with how you want to depict it. I've included links in the description where you can purchase this kit, and I also have a link where you can join my email list where you can be updated on exclusive deals, tips and tricks, and all the latest news and musings in the scale model world. Be sure to subscribe and like to the channel so you are kept up to date on all of Styrene Haven Model's latest content. Thanks for watching.